Good afternoon. It is time to lighten up, and I've got Tishy here. I was at work until 2 minutes ago, and I was going to do the video down there like I did before, and I ran up here to pick something up, and Tishy's like, "Hello, isn't it time to do our video?" So I said, whatever Tishy wants, Tishy gets. So, welcome to today's Lighten Up, and I hope you are enjoying a good day. And if this is your first time, this is when we just take some time to sit down, hang out, share a little bit about what's going on. Well, in my life, anyway. I welcome your comments if you want to share what's going on in your life and whether you watch this now or whether you watch it a year from now. Sure, I want to know what you're doing because this will be on YouTube. I take my videos after I'm done with them and I put them up on YouTube so we can always lighten up and get on the light side. And there is extra good reason to get, yeah, there's extra good reason to get on the light side today. Except you're looking at me, you're supposed to be looking at the screen. So the CDC now said if you are outside and relatively socially distanced, don't worry about the mask, take the mask off. So it is one closer step to freedom. I'm still waiting. Inside, you still wear masks. And this is for fully vaccinated people, by the way. Um, I still wear my mask inside uh, till I see the numbers really going down. Deaths are going down, but actually in Connecticut, right this minute, the cases are still going up. So, anyway, but I think that every step in the right direction, no matter how small it is, needs to be celebrated, right? That's what lightening up is all about. So before I forget, I was going to make a note of it, but instead I don't think I have a pen here. I don't. My pens somehow seem to grow legs and walk around the house. I don't know how it happens. They wind up in the darndest places. So, anyway, what I wanted to say is, I've talked to you before. I'm a writer and author, and I've got books in the works and everything. But in my first unofficial book that I simply wrote as a gift from my best friend who was getting married, and we were so broke, I didn't have any money to give her a right gift at the time. I was expecting twins and had a little one at home already. And so I wrote her a cookbook. But one of the chapters in the cookbook was about celebrating every holiday that you could. Isn't it funny that now this is, more than 50 years ago? I'm sitting here doing what we do every day and doing it with what? The National Day Calendar. Isn't that hilarious? Unity has the teaching. The thoughts we continuously hold in mind manifest in our world. So there. So I held this thought of celebrating every day. And then here, these many years later, I am very actively celebrating every day with you. Oh, I think Tishy's going to go roam off a little bit or just wind around and come back. Okay, so we are going to start today, as we do every day, with that national day calendar. So today it is number one, National Tell a Story Day. Now, when I say tell a story, I mean tell a story. I don't mean that other term that says, are you telling me a story? Which basically means, are you lying to me? Most of us like to listen to stories, Some people like to tell stories. Some people think they'd like to tell stories, but they don't think they can. Well, let me tell you, if you want to tell a story, you can easily tell a story. Like I always say, when people say, I always wanted to be a writer, you do? Well, start writing, because that's what a writer does. A writer writes. And very often, our journey as writers and storytellers is to, it's like they say, life is not a destination, it's a journey. And that's kind of what writing is. Writing is a journey. And I don't think you ever get to the point where you go, well, that's it, I'm done. Oh, there have been times I have writer's block for the past year. I've had a form of writer's block where I haven't written a lot, but I have been active with my stories. I just came this morning from doing a 2-hour recording session with The Secret of Sweetwater Stream. So I think I've got one or two more sessions, and then comes the what he calls the heavy duty work, the editing. And after he's done the editing, then we'll put it on Amazon, and you'll be able to get it there. And on your, I don't know, Audible, Audible. That's it. I think Audible and Amazon are related, but anyway, that's where it's going to be. And and I love it, and I love that today when I was doing the story, there were a few humorous parts. And the Ira, who is the man who owns Riverway Studios, where I go and do my recording, um, he's sitting there and he listens and he stops and he makes notes and tells me when I have to stop and repeat stuff and like that. And he's listening, and like 3 times he laughed, and it's really nice. I mean, he laughed in a good way. He got it. He got the funny parts, and he has before. But it's so much fun to tell a story and get a response. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of like you hug someone and they hug you back. And so if you got any stories in you, don't let them die in you. Get them out. Start telling the stories, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a couple minutes. Um, the story. No, we're going to talk about it now. I'm back to square one because I saw something I didn't share. If you're trying to figure out about, well, how do I write a story? I'd like you to consider this is a very, very overview, okay, very light survey overview of the hero's journey, which you can explore in depth through Joseph Campbell's works. But the basic essence of the hero's journey is that the hero goes off on an adventure. Okay. So we look at that on a circle. Okay. So he goes off on the adventure into the future. And on his journey, he has many challenges. He has many good things happen. And then when you get down toward the bottom of this circle that is the hero's journey, there is crisis, there is danger, there is a fight, and he has to work his way out of it. So through how he fights and what he learns, he grows and he comes out. And then if he is successful, he comes up to the top. He's a hero, and he is reborn, renewed, whatever. If he's not successful, that's considered like death and starting all over again. So that's the basic essence of the hero's journey. And that's every story we tell. And that is every story in every day of our lives. Let's say our lives were stories. Would your story be a comedy, a drama, a romance, an adventure, a horror story? What would it be? Here's the deal. What it will be, just as a writer writes the story, We write our lives. And that's what life on the light side is all about. What do you want your story to be? You can have adventure and victory. You can have fear and terror and coming out of it with joy. But how the essence of your story will be depends primarily on you. Think on that. Now we're going to talk about it more later. Oh, do you notice anything different? Anything? Anything different? I got my new glasses today. I like them. They're light as a feather. I don't even know I have them on. When I put them on at first, it's like, oh, where's my glasses? Oh, I'm wearing them. So I like them. They're supposed to be nearly invisible, and I would like as nearly invisible as possible. The other ones, I got over those so fast. Be careful when you buy glasses. You spend a lot of money, and you want to be happy with them. So the other ones, they're purple, and you know purple's like my color. So they work for when I want to, but I love these. And oh, yes, Cheryl says she likes them too. Thank you very much. That's a good thing. Okay, so what else is it? Oh, big faux pas. I was so excited when I went out and got my glasses. I did my recording, then I went and got the glasses. Then I thought, I was going to stop at the store and get something, but I don't remember what I was going to get. And then after I got home and I was getting ready to do today's Life on the Light side, I didn't stop at the store because I didn't remember what I wanted to get. And what I wanted to get was devil dogs because it is National Devil Dog Day. Now, I have not had a devil dog in as many years as I can recall. I would say I might not have a devil dog in 30 or 40 years. You know, they came out. The first devil dogs were an individualized devil's food cake snack, dessert, and it came out in 1920s, the early 1920s. And in 1926, Drake's Cakes started making devil dogs as a snack and selling them under the name devil dogs. Well, there's a lot more fun history all about devil dogs that you can find on the National Day Calendar webpage. But some military in World War One, because they fought so hard that the certain units were called the devil dogs. And so there's lots of fun stuff around that, and some are myths and some are history. So I thought that was pretty good. And it is National Babe Ruth Day. Now I'm not that big a baseball person, so I like it when my kids would play. I would like to watch them play, but I'm not that well versed in baseball to really know about Babe Ruth, except they called him the Babe, and he could really hit a ball. But what I also don't remember, and I think I would have remembered it if it were there, was not a lot of scandal. And back then, you didn't have doping stuff, and you didn't have, well, actually, I guess you had some cheating stuff because there was things like, weren't spitballs illegal or stuff like that? I don't know. So anyway, Babe Ruth he had as far as I know, he had a pretty good reputation. And today it's like, ugh, so many of the sports figures have had so much scandal. Are you tired of scandal? I am so tired of scandal. I am so tired of feeling slimed. I have had enough. It's like you want to take a shower every day after you even read the entertainment news. It's all quite the challenge, but we lighten up when we think about all the good things and the good people that are out there doing good things. Shall we name one? Morgan Freeman. Did you know Morgan Freeman has become a beekeeper because he knows how endangered bees are? And he's got many, many beehives and millions of bees and encourages people to do the same thing. One of our craftspeople next week is going to be bringing over her uncle, I think, makes bat houses. Yeah. And bats, yeah, a very bad reputation. That baseball bats. And but bats are great because they eat a lot of mosquitoes. Now here's another thing. We got to be careful what we put on plants and in the air because we don't want to kill too many mosquitoes because the bats are going to eat them. They'll be healthy and they'll be fine. And we don't want them to have toxins in them that will not be good for them. We are living on an ecosphere. And I really encourage you to learn about the ecosphere we live on and how to keep it healthy. I heard and I had to keep my mouth shut. I mean, if you know me, you know that keeping my mouth shut is like mama task. But I had to keep my mouth shut because there were folks in the other room. They were having a discussion, and one of the people was spewing off what do you call this, conspiracy theories about that climate change is not real and that things are the same as they were in the 40s. It's just these lunar sun cycles. And I'm like, and because there's sometimes when it is appropriate to keep your mouth shut. Now, if it was appropriate to say something, I look like Squiggy. If it was appropriate to say something, I would have said it. Okay. But it just would have been an aggravation, probably would have gotten me in trouble. Thanks. Lynn likes my glasses. Thank you, Lynn. Um, okay, so anyway, I was talking about Babe Ruth and I wind up with climate change. I can do it. I do talk about storytelling, I tell you. Okay, it is also, this doesn't exactly turn me on, but it did at one time. It's National Prime Rib Day. So if you've been having a hankering for a prime rib, you don't have to cook it. You can go out to dinner and get it. And let somebody else cook for a change, you know? You can eat on the patio. You can eat inside. A lot of restaurants are being very careful, so you can even have your prime rib in atmosphere. If I have a prime rib tonight, it will be a prime rib of celery that I will stuff with something quite delicious. To each his own. Okay, and so that those were the National Day calendar things I wanted to talk about today. And just here's a heads up for tomorrow. Single heads up. Tomorrow is National Blueberry Pie Day. So you might want to take a run out, go get yourself some blueberries and make yourself a blueberry pie. Or you can always go out there and get one of those table talk pies. Now, the only problem with a table talk pie to me is there's too much crust, not enough filling. I'm into more the filling than the pie, but make note tomorrow is blueberry pie day. Okay, so I want to go back for a minute to storytelling day. Well, today isn't story day, that's Thursday. But I wanted to talk about storytelling. I'm moving this around to get me some room here. I'm moving my computer over to clear a space on the table. Now, I talked about these before, and some people expressed interest, so I wanted to tell you a little bit more about them. This is actually, it's called Story Cubes, and it is for people that are one or more players age 8 and up. Now, story cubes, I've brought to my grown up story cube story writing, my writers group. I've brought them before to use to tell stories as prompts. A prompt is something that you base a story on. Now, my book, my novel that I'm doing for Audible now, The Secret of Sweetwater Stream, that started out as a writing prompt that we were given at one of our writers group meetings. So let me show you the story cubes. You can get these on Amazon, and I got mine. I'm gonna try to keep them all in the package. I got mine at Barnes and Noble, so I'm gonna tilt them up. So you see they look a lot like dice. And there is 9. These cost, let's see, thought the price tag was still on them, but I guess not. They cost, I don't know, I think like $10 or something like that. Well worth it. This is a good way. It's intergenerational and it can teach creativity to kids and it can stimulate your own creativity. So, because today is National Devil Dog Day and Storyteller Day, I figured I would show you how the um, how the story dice can work in helping you tell a story. I suggest you get yourself, there's 3 different versions of these. So this is like the basic story cubes. Then you've got one that's I think magical and there's one that's adventure or something like that. But these are mine and they work. And I plan on playing with them with my grandson one day as soon as he's a little bit older. This says 8 and up. He's 7. And although he's brilliant, I don't know that he's ready for this. Um, so that you know, I went to the dollar store though and got this. I got him one and I got me one. And these are called Story Dice. And it says use Crayola crayons or markers to color 6 dice and assemble them. Write fun stories using what you roll. So that is just like this. So I sent them to him. I don't know where if his grandma put them away so that we will be able to find them and play one day, or I'll bring them to Florida next time I come. So they'll be there. So anyway, I'm going to use my story dice. And what you do is I'm going to dump them out here. So you start the story by rolling one of the dice and seeing what you come up with. Our story today is going to be the history of devil dogs. Now, where am I going with this? I don't know. Where will the dice take me? So I'm going to roll one of the dice. Ooh, and I get this little scales of justice. So, once upon a time, there was a baker, and the baker wanted to have the best bakery in town, but he couldn't decide. Should he do sweets or should he do savory? Should he do bread or should he do jelly donuts? What would he do? So he thought about it and he thought about it. And then, and then is the clue. Then we get to another one and we roll it. Oh, and I got a fountain. Hmm. So he did not know what kind of pastry he was going to make. But he made a wedding cake that he had to deliver one day to this huge wedding. So he packed the wedding cake in his car and he got it very carefully to the wedding. And when they brought it in and they put it on the table, he looked up and he saw this chocolate fountain. And he said, "Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. I know. I'm going to make a dessert. And my dessert is going to be chocolate. But how can I make it different?" So every time we say so or and then, there's a new dice. So let me roll it and see what I get. I got a magic one. So that night, when he went to sleep, he dreamed that he was in a forest. And the forest, all the trees, chocolate cake. And he went, oh my goodness, look at all those chocolate cake trees. It's amazing. And then a little fairy flitted through and he said, I've never seen chocolate trees before. And the fairy said, you haven't seen anything yet. And she waved her magical wand and sparkles came out. And all of the trees that were chocolate started to ooze with chocolate, with creamy, fluffy, white filling. And he said, oh my goodness, chocolate trees with white sap. I think, see what the next die does. An apple. He said, oh, I got an idea. And he thought of Newton, because when the apple fell on Newton's head, he went, oh, I see. I got an idea about gravity. So the baker said, oh, I got an idea. And he went to his bakery and I got a little sheep. How are we going to weave that in? So he went into his bakery and he saw all these bags of flour had arrived and they had little knots tied in the edge. And he said, oh my goodness, they look like little sheep. You know, sheep are fluffy. So I think I want to make something chocolate with a fluffy filling. What am I going to make that chocolate filling with? I mean, that fluffy filling with? What am I going to do? How am I going to put it in a package? I can't make a chocolate tree. That's too big. So then it's a scarab, a beetle. Oh my God, he's got a beetle in his bakery. So then a beetle ran up and ran across the flour and ran straight into the confectioner's sugar container. Oh, and on top of it, he climbed up to the top of the confectioner's sugar and he jumped on it 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. And then he ran over to the shortening container and he jumped on that 3 times and he went bump, bump, bump. He goes, ooh, okay. So I'm going to use flour to make the chocolate cakes, and I'm going to use confectioner's sugar and shortening for the filling. How am I going to make this? How big will it be? How small will it be? Next, guys. Oh, and then he got a really big idea. He said, I'm not going to make them big like trees. I'm going to make them tiny so that each person can have their own wonderful chocolate treat filled with creamy filling. They're going to love that. And then he said, I don't know whether I'm happy or sad. I'm going to put them in the contest, but will I win? Will they think I'm silly? Will they think whoever would make such a silly thing like that? But he said, I don't care. I'm going to make them. And he was up all night making little sticks of chocolate cake and making the fluffy frosting. And he put them all together and he wrapped one up each individually. And then, last die, and then he said, these are my chocolate trees. And he went to the baking competition and he put all his little devil dogs out. They didn't have a name yet. He put all his little things out, and people were coming by and they were eating them. And you know that saying about money doesn't grow on trees? Well, that money flew into his cash register just like the leaves fall to the sky during fall. And he was rich and happy, and we enjoy devil dogs to this day. How is that for a silly story? I hope you got the idea that you can use these story cubes for yourself, with your kids or grandkids or great grandkids or whatever. That you can even start on a crummy day. And if you play with the story cubes, you can focus on lightening up and making a happy story for yourself. Okay? Well, we are done for today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will look forward to, good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. I will be looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Have a great one. Bye bye.